What is going on, everyone? My name is Benjamin Nowak with Monster Bass, and today's video we're going to be focused on my top 5 baits of 2019, as well as baits that you guys need to have in your arsenal for 2020. So one of the things that makes all of these baits fit into this best baits category is their versatility. You can fish them a bunch of different ways around a bunch of different types of cover and be successful. Smallmouth, largemouth, spotted bass, they're all going to catch all 3 species. So these are baits that you guys have to have no matter where you're fishing. And the first one I want to talk about is a lipless crankbait. Now, this is probably the most iconic lipless crankbait ever produced, the Bill Lewis rattle trap. This is what gave other lipless crankbaits the name The Trap, is this bait here. But it's a great bait to be fished a bunch of different ways. I caught a bunch of big fish on it this spring, dragging along the bottom with slight lifts and drops. I caught a bunch of fish fishing it around really heavy grass, but it's a really good lipless crankbait for all season long. But one thing that makes this bait so unique is that flat, squared off face. That's going to allow this bait to come through grass really well. It's going to rip free from that grass, which is going to trigger a lot of bites, but it's also going to be able to fish really slowly along the bottom well because this flat face deflects that cover away from the hooks. But if you're looking for a bait that has a little bit more shimmy, a little bit more shimmy on the fall and movement when you're pulling it up, you're going to want to go with the bait like the Strike King Red Eye Shad. It's a little bit more rounded body profile. So if you're fishing around open water situations where you need that bait to lift and then shimmy on the fall, lift, shimmy on the fall, the Red Eye Shad is going to be the bait that I would go with. That rounded body profile is going to give this bait more movement action on the fall versus the lipless crankbait, which is going to fall slightly more nose down with a little bit less movement. Great bait for open water when you're dragging it on the bottom or fishing around heavy grass. I like this bait when I'm fishing it with a little bit more of that yo-yo style retrieve. Another really good lipless crankbait that's out there on the market is the Booyah One Knocker. There's 6 Sense products, but there's a bunch of really good lipless crankbaits. The key here is you have to figure out how the fish want that bait. I'm actually going to leave a link up here in the corner for you guys to go check out. We have a video talking about different retrieves with lipless crankbaits that I filmed this spring and caught some really big smallmouth in. But go check that video out if you want some more information on lipless crankbaits. Now the next bait, another ultra versatile bait, is a bladed jig, a vibrating jig. What makes this bait so effective is its ability to be fished like a bunch of different types of lures. It's kind of like a combination between a spinnerbait, a crankbait, a jig, and you can fish it just like that. But it's also really effective around grass where all of those other baits fail to be as effective. Now, this is the Strike King Thunder Cricket, brand new bait for 2020, released at ICAST, and really started becoming extremely popular on the market. And one thing that's different about this bait is actually the blade on this vibrating jig. It's more rounded off, so it's going to have a really, really fast action, and it's going to act more erratically around open water situations. So it's going to cause this bait to dart side to side a little bit more than your standard squared off ZMan style blade like that. However, I would choose the ZMan blade around grass. It's going to break through that grass a little bit easier, and I'm going to throw the Thunder Cricket when I'm around a little bit more open water situations. And that's something Alex Rudd helped me figure out, so shout out to Alex Rudd. Dude loves to fish chatterbait, vibrating jig, because it catches big fish. So pick up a vibrating jig and go catch some big fish. By the way, the Thunder Cricket, it's coming in our January Strike King box, so stay tuned. If you guys want to buy that box, go down, link in the description. Go check it out. Use code BEN15 to get $15 off your first box and get yourself a Strike King Thunder Cricket. Now, the last hard bait in the category is going to be a jig. Now, a jig really isn't any sort of secret, but this is the Strike King Hack Attack Flippin' Jig, Fluoro Flippin' Jig. And what I like about this is the super compact profile. But again, versatility. You can flip this bait, and one way that I had a ton of success fishing this bait this year was actually swimming this bait through the water column. Now, this is a 3/8 of an ounce, and I like that 3/8 of an ounce pretty much all around because you can skip it up under docks. You can fish it around grass. You can fish it from 0 feet to 20 feet really effectively, and I like to swim a jig. Swimming a jig is a great way to get a lot of big bites and something I did a ton in the spring, but it works all year long. All you're going to do, cast this bait out, typically around grass or some sort of shallow cover, and just slowly retrieve it back in, like a swim bait, like a spinner bait, actually like a bladed jig. Catches a lot of big fish. But you can also take and drag that bait. So when those fish are following it, you can slow down. If they don't want to eat it on the swim, You can fish it just like your standard jig and catch a lot of big fish. I actually trim this skirt a ton. This is something I like to do early season and really late season when those fish are really getting finicky. So this is basically finesse trimmed, but it comes with a lot bulkier skirt than that you guys can fish no matter how you guys want to fish it. And a bait that has been growing in popularity over the last couple of years is some sort of Ned rig plastic. A Ned rig catches a lot of giant fish for me, mainly smallmouth. I don't fish it very much for largemouth bass because I pick up that jig a lot, but these are two of my favorites that were released this season. The first one is the ZMan Ticklers. This actually came in the very first Monster Bass box ever. Never fished it before. I fished a bait called the ZMan Hula Sticks that I liked a lot, but this has these little tentacles on the back that will move water when that bait is just slowly being dragged or setting still, which is something I like in my Ned rig baits. They have a little bit of action even when that bait is sitting dead still or being dragged on the bottom. So the ZMan TRD Ticklers is a great bait. Again, I'm choosing really versatile colors. Your green pumpkins, your green pumpkin whites, the deal, are really good colors in that ZMan TRD Ticklers. But I had a really cool opportunity this year with Monster Bass to design a color for the Monster Bass box. Now this is an X Zone Lures Ned Zone, and the color is called Monster. When I was designing this color, what I wanted was something I could fish all year long, whether I'm fishing around crawfish, whether I'm fishing around bluegill, smallmouth or largemouth. And what it is it's a light green pumpkin back with some black flake, some orange on the back. Then you have a more pearlescent white belly with some black and a little bit of green-ish style of flake in the belly. Super versatile color, catches a lot of big fish. Imitates perch. This is a bait that I'm going to actually swim like a little swim bait, and that bulb on the tail is going to give this a little shimmy when it's reeling through the water. For me, it's a lot like you would fish a hair jig or a spy bait. I take this bait and I like to reel it up in the water column to try and trigger those bass to bite. Again, super versatile color. Really cool opportunity with Monster Bass to create a monster branded color for X Zone lures. And then finally, a bait that just flat out catches fish is a creature bait. This is the V&M Baits J-Bug. And the J-Bug caught my attention when I was following the guys around the tour. Nick LeBrun fishes this bait a ton. He flips it, he swims it, he puts it on the back of a chatterbait. It's a great bait that has a bunch of appendages, moves a lot of water, kicks a lot, catches a lot of big fish. Another really popular one is the Strike King Rage Bug. Again, just the versatility of a creature bait is kind of unmatched anymore on the market because you can do so many things with it. It's a great swim jig trailer. It's a great jig trailer. It's great with little Texas rig bullet weight in front of it. Actually, my man Alex Epperson, what he likes to do is take a little 1/8 ounce weight Texas rig on an EWG style hook, just swim it right below the water, catches a bunch of big fish that way. So take yourself a creature bait, learn how to fish it, learn how to become effective with a creature bait, and you're going to catch a lot more fish. All of these baits are things that you guys can go out and be successful with no matter where you're fishing, when you're fishing, time of year, location. These are all baits that are going to catch fish if you can only carry 5 baits, and they're baits that I've developed a ton of confidence in 2020. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button down below, and go check out the Monster Bass box. All the baits in this video have come in a Monster Bass box or coming in a Monster Bass box, and they're things that you guys can use to go out and catch big fish with. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.